podcast, number 6, Canadian Grand Prix. Hayden's the first in, welcome to. Hope you can hear me. Got plenty to talk about. So, let's give everyone a little bit more time. And we'll get going. Put on the Pirelli hat. I'll turn the music off. That was meant to be off. Alright. We're good. We're good. So, the Canadian Grand Prix. You can see I've got the driver results up there. Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, and Max Verstappen taking 1, 2, and 3. And as always, I like to give a small review of what happened in the race. So, Sebastian on pole. Got a good start, and so did Max Verstappen. He went alongside Valtteri Bottas coming in turn 2, but Bottas got his arms out finally and kept his position. And then turn number 4, we had the big crash with Hartley and Stroll. Stroll losing lateral grip, sliding into Hartley as he got a better run through turn 3, smashing them both into the wall. That was their race done. Safety car was out, very short safety car, and then not a lot happened. Good restart for Vettel, and then we saw most of the guys on the Hypersofts pit really early because they just didn't last that long. So everyone choosing to go onto the red Supersoft tyre. From there, Alonso had an engine issue, so that was his day done. Leclerc had an amazing drive coming in 10th. And what else? I'm just trying to think. We had the flag wave early. Apparently, the procedures being looked at. The FI. It wasn't the Winnie's fault. The model who flew the flag. It was what they called the starter. He decided that lap 69 was the last lap. So apparently, Charlie Whiting is looking in to maybe fix up the procedures for other tracks as well. Because apparently everyone's a little bit different. So there's a little bit of miscommunication, meaning the race had to be classified from lap 68, so when the flag flies, it's a bit like a red flag you take from the lap behind, because it was early, and that's why Max Verstappen got the fastest lap, even though Ricciardo did the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. But anyway, and I think that's about everything in the race. Wasn't a lot of overtaking. 3 DRS zones, but no one could get the overtakes done, which was upsetting, which made the race a little bit boring. And then I like to give the race a little bit of a title. Haven't really thought about it, but I would probably say I'm glad it finished a lap early. That's my title. Glad it finished a lap early. That flag came out when we needed it. So anyway, what have you guys been saying? What have you been talking about? I've got a good list of topics here, so we should be able to go for a good hour at least. No worries, Keith. Good to see you back, man, and I love all your kind words that you guys have been giving me. It's awesome. So it's good to see you guys are here. Aiden's saying, I still call bull. I believe they told the model wave it when you see the red car coming down. Yeah, well, when she waved it, Raikkonen was amongst the field, wasn't he? So maybe I have a feeling they thought Raikkonen was Vettel. So I guess you can make that error, but yeah, who really knows? We might not ever hear the real reason as to why it was waved early. But that brought up the question, do you think celebrities should be allowed to wave the flag? Or should it just be left to the track marshal that is responsible for it? I personally don't really care, because the track marshal, you would think, is the one that told her to wave the flag then. So he's probably the one that made the mistake. But some people seem to have some big opinions on that. Let me know in the comments now, and I'll read them out. Woo! But yeah, while we're at it, what did you guys think of the race as well? A lot of people were telling me after the race stream that it was boring, and I kind of agree. Monaco was probably more exciting than Canada, and that all comes down to just the guys that can't follow when they get within a second, which is really causing issues. You guys have been a bit quiet in chat. But anyway, I don't blame people for not wanting to come to this podcast because it was quite a boring race. There wasn't a lot to talk about, as we've said. Nugget says, someone must have told her to wave the flag at a certain point because she won't have decided to. I agree. I reckon there was someone to do it, which why I don't have an issue with celebrities waving the flag. It's because there's a track marshal there whose job it is to probably go wave it now. So, yeah, I don't think she did it on purpose, that's for sure. The Adventures of the Golden Sword. Good to see you back, dude. Says, I think it was the marshal's fault. He would have told when to wave the flag. Again, I agree. And that seems to be pretty much everyone's consensus on the topic. Why are you all black? You should be red. Black. Doesn't matter. Keith says, I doubt she done it herself. She was deaf, told to do it. Yeah, so pretty much everyone thinking that the marshal made the mistake. I agree. I'm pretty sure she was told to do it as well. So can't really put it on her, can ya? Taylor, the crash was quite interesting. It was. It was probably the most interesting thing. Stroll had an amazing start. He actually split through the two McLarens. He got at least 3 or 4 positions straight from the start. So he was in for a decent start anyway. But yeah, Brendan Hartley and him alongside each other through 4, losing lateral grip. And that's where the Williams problems lie. The Williams problems lie all within having grip on corners. And maybe it contributed to the accident. I don't know. But I personally, I can't really blame anyone. But if you are to put blame on someone, I'd say Stroll. I don't know what you guys thought about it all. If you've seen the accident. But I have a feeling that maybe the aerodynamic grip issues that the Williams are having played a small part in him losing lateral grip when he slid into Hartley. I'm not really sure. Do you think they will solve or at least make the overtaking easier in 2019? Is a topic I wrote down here. Where did I write it? So we'll get to that just after in a second, but it's a big talking point, so I'll get straight into it. Good crash, boring race for me, but the right man won, says the Golden Sword. Yeah, good crash, boring race. That's a good one. Paul Williams from Keith. When will they ever get a break? I don't know. Their last win was in Spain 2012 by Pastor Maldonado. So it's been a long time between drinks, hasn't it? What are we, 28? That's like 6 years. That's insane. Stroll might have lost the back end from dirty air or shot arrow. Yes, dirty air and shot arrow. It's a huge issue in the races, and it's the reason no one can follow. It means when they get within a second, they can't overtake. Their DRS is ineffective because there's stuff all grip. They can't brake later because there's stuff all grip. They've really got something to fix, that's for sure. Hey Keegan, what's up, man? Welcome to the podcast. You're here finally live. Good to see you, man. Let us know what you thought of the race as well. Sorry, I'm getting a bit dry mouth here. I'm just gonna take a swig of water. It's funny, whenever you watch people drink, they look silly. I always watch myself drink sometimes when I watch a stream back, and I feel like I look silly. But anyway, let's talk about the sport heading in the wrong direction from Hamilton. And we'll get on to grip, mechanical aero grip stuff as well. So Hamilton said he believes the sport's heading in the wrong direction and wants to scrap the limited engine rule, because he was very grateful that he even got to the end of the race. So his engine lasted the 7 races it needed to. And he because of that, he had overheating issues, which is why he struggled really for performance all weekend. And in the race, he had the heating issues because he was losing, he was having intermittent power drops through the race. So he was really struggling there. That's why he pitted early. He came in and they have this Mercedes apparently have this heating cover that they can remove. It's for aerodynamics, but they can quickly take it off to cool the engine a bit better at the, expense of aerodynamic drag. So they did that. And that's why he came on the radio and was like, why did I pit early? It was to help fix his power unit problems. But he goes on, he was interviewed after the race and he says the limited engine rule, saying it was to save money, but he reckons it ends up costing more to produce a more reliable engine anyway. So the cost saving is null. And he then went on to say he does not like the proposed 2-engine rule for 2019, because he says it's ridiculous that the championship could be decided on reliability, and he wants to see people go out there and not, lose it because of something out of their control, but win it because they're the fastest man out on track. And that back in the day, he had more fun when he had more engines to play with. So yeah, there's that coming, and then there's the front wing change coming in 2019 to hopefully fix the overtaking problem. But is Formula One going in the wrong direction? Because someone said on stream, we need more mechanical grip and less focus on the aerodynamics. And I think if we did that, we might have slower cars. Don't really care. They're still going to be going extremely quick. But if they're less focused on aerodynamic, dirty air doesn't matter so much. They're still going to have the grip. They're still going to be able to make the overtakes. And yeah, saving money with engines and stuff. I don't know. 2 engines, that's, we could be seeing some massive penalties, even in this year's championship later on. People might not have their engines last. So what do you guys think about all that? I'm just going to go through and read the comments. Sorry I've been talking too much, but I will get to it. And if you're new to the podcast, yes, we do jump up and down between topics. Sorry it's not so organized, but I like the organic feel that we get. Everyone just puts in their comments and opinions, and it's like having a talk at a table, sort of. That's kind of how I get the vibe. Anyway, I'll go through what you guys have been saying. Yeah, you didn't miss much, Keegan, that's for sure. Damn straight. Aiden says, I believe engine limits are good. It brings equality to top teams and back teams with lower budgets. Unlimited engines will only benefit top teams, but 3 engines are just silly. 3 engines is a stretch. Yeah, I'm sort of the same. I sort of think the engine limits are good because it means the bottom teams still have an opportunity to race and be competitive. Because, if they could, I'm sure Ferrari and the top teams would be bringing a new engine every race and just flogging the hell out of it. Like, just maxing it, destroying it by the end of the race, and, yeah, come the next race, a new engine, and a new engine, and a new engine. And that's going to obviously cost a lot of money, and, yeah, the bottom teams can't do it. So I can sort of see where it brings a sort of balance to the grid a little bit. But, yeah, maybe 3 is not... I think 2 is way too less. Sorry, I'm just going to strip for you on camera. Yeah, 2 is too little. I don't know, maybe 4, 5? I don't know, 5 might be getting on the high-end things, but yeah, 3 and 2 is a little bit too low for me. No more engines, more speed. It's not like the bottom teams have any chance anyway. Yeah, see, like, I get it. I get that, but I want to see the top teams up there. It's kind of sad that it is a bit like that, isn't it? Like, have a look at Leclerc. He's probably been the best of the bottom teams. And then you have a look at someone like Williams, who have a Mercedes engine, but it's their aerodynamics that are killing them. Because, like I said, their last win was in Spain. They've got no grip when cornering. And the suspected issue might be an aerodynamic stall at the rear diffuser. So aerodynamics are just causing a huge concern for the field, not just for Williams, but for overtakes and probably a whole host of other things we haven't really discussed. Do they rebuild the engines between races? Not that I know of, Beth. I don't think they're allowed to. I think it's sort of like a Parc Ferme rule, you use what you got sort of thing. I'm not sure if they're allowed to do any sort of maintenance at all. That's actually something I've never really looked into. I just assumed that they just use the same engine without touching it. Sort of like, you can't change the car after qualifying sort of thing. Maybe someone knows a little bit more, but I will look into that later on if we don't find an answer. But yeah, I believe they don't. But don't hold my word on that one. At least 5 engines for the lower teams, Keith. Yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should give the lower teams a little bit of a helping hand and sort of balance it that way. That's not a bad idea. People are not going to be happy about it, aka Ferrari and maybe Mercedes, because they're going to feel it's an unfair advantage. But I think compromises need to be made by some teams if they want to see the sport improve, because the rate it's going at the moment, that's our 3rd race in a row that was boring, and engines, aerodynamics, it's all sort of linked, isn't it? Keegan says he watched the NASCAR and it was more interesting than F1. That's big because, there's probably a lot of accidents in the NASCAR. I didn't watch it, but I always find NASCAR, the crashes they have is usually the most exciting part. I'm not a huge fan of NASCAR, but I do appreciate the skill involved. Storm behind the window. See you later, I think. Is there a storm near you, Daniel? Well, good luck with that. Aiden says there are chaps like Charles Leclerc who actually give Sauber a chance to be higher. Higher you are equals more money through Golden. Through at Golden. What does that mean? But you're right. There's already talk of him now going to Ferrari. So if Kimi leaves, do you think Leclerc could go to that seat? Does he fit that seat? Or do you think Ferrari will maybe want to see him drive for the junior team? I guess you can call Sauber the junior team for maybe another year. But he's definitely shown great maturity and ability in a car that is definitely not the best. And he's definitely doing the best he can. And he's pretty much putting his teammate on notice. He's been so good. That's for sure. Golden Sword, I still remember when they put petrol on in pit. That was exciting. Yeah, that argument always comes up. Should we go back to refueling? See you, gotta go. See you, Taylor. Sorry you can't hang around. Yeah, refueling. I can't remember the arguments for against it, but I do remember that they were quite compelling. Because there was, I can't remember now the arguments against fueling, because it sounds like a good idea. I wish I could remember what they were, but that was also down to entertainment during the races as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Refuel, I don't know. I just know in my head that when I heard people talk about the refueling, it made sense not to do it. Sorry, I can't remember why. Maybe one of you can jog my memory on that. It's not something I immediately researched for tonight. Sorry. Keith saying no, they are not allowed all major penalties. I'm guessing that's for the engine stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's bang on. I don't understand how more engines don't blow up then. I guess because the money they put into reliability, plus they, like, you notice the lap times, they don't run qualifying timing for the race. Like Sebastian did a 110 for the quali, but they were lapping it. They started at like 118, 17s, getting down to 114s by the end of it, 115s. So they don't use everything that's available to preserve the power. And then you have someone like Hamilton, who say he's sitting in fifth. He'll use the power when he can, because you saw him do that against Ricciardo. But because, again, aerodynamics stuffed him up. He was drifting through the hairpin. he had such little grip because of the dirty air from in front. He was drifting. But you could see how he just backed off and he almost lost like 5 seconds. They'd be playing with power settings and stuff throughout the whole race to keep that engine within a working range for... I'm sure they've worked it out and they know what the damage can take, and I'm sure they inspect it after each race to know sort of where they're at. But it's not like they're running the engine full pelt for every Grand Prix, and that would be the reason why the engines don't always blow up. But they do. They do sometimes blow up, like we saw. It was Grosjean, wasn't it? I think that was turbo and oil in the turbo though, so a little bit different. But yeah, that'd be the reason why. Too dangerous for refueling, Keith. It is dangerous, but like you see it done in the WEC, the World Endurance Championships, or the GT class cars, even like some of the motorbike categories. I don't know if MotoGP does it. I'm not a huge fan of MotoGP, but I have seen them fuel up motorbikes where they have like the cord, like the anti-static cord that they have to attach to the car before they can refuel. Sort of mitigates all that, like static charges and stuff, exploding the fuel on you. I don't think the danger factor was the reason. It was some sort of issue we were seeing with qualifying, like fuel loads. I can't remember what it was. I really wish I could remember, but for me, personally, I don't think the danger factor is the biggest issue. But anyway, you might be able to prove me wrong. I'm always open for discussion. Oh, you were replying to someone, Aiden. No dramas. NASCAR better. That says a lot about the state of F1, but I disagree. Elaborate. I don't think NASCAR was better. I agree with you saying it's not better. I just like the NASCAR crashes because I'm a little bit country like that. But yeah, I like F1 for a whole lot of different reasons. I like the technical side. I like the strategy that's played out. I like the personalities in F1. I like all the technical things, the racing as well. I like how there's so much development done. There's new things every race. There's so much to talk about. But yeah, when F1's good, it's so good. It's so good. It's just a shame that at the moment we're not seeing what it can be. So I think F1's probably the best motorsport out there, but at the moment it's not putting on the best show per se. There was a bad pit lane fire that caused them to take away refueling. I think I know the one you're talking about. And I don't blame them for that. Because like safety, you look at like the halo, it was introduced. Once they were talking about putting on a halo, they had to do it because what if something happened? And then I'm not sure what happened with the refueling back then, but because I was only small. But yeah, like once they mitigate refueling and can do it without it, they have to do it because what if? There's always that what if. So for me, danger's not a reason to get rid of it, but for the sport itself, definitely. Most likely health and safety, yeah, again, that's what I would think. You got a little prediction? Yeah, I'll go, is it back up there? Let me know. Dangerous cost becomes a strategy race. Dangerous cost becomes a strategy race. Can you just elaborate? What are you talking about? Fueling or engines? Sorry, because we go over the place sometimes. I struggle to realize what you're replying to because of the delay as well. But I'll get back to you, Nugget, on that. Prediction about the French Grand Prix. I'll get there. We still got all this other stuff to go through. You meant NASCAR, not better. Yeah. I'm on you. I'm with you. Actually, it wasn't that. Just found the answer. What was it? Was it the invisible fire incident? You went to F1. All right. So, another topic, while you guys are sitting there. Sorry, thing closed on me. Alonso leaving F1 for IndyCar. Do you think after his issues that he had in the Canadian Grand Prix, that's it for Alonso? Do you think he's made his mind up now? Because Zach Brown was talking about seeing Alonso or exploring a IndyCar option. So do you think that's it? Do you think Canada was that's it for Alonso? And will he go to IndyCar? I don't know how he's doing it personally. I don't know how he's sticking around and being so positive all the time. It's amazing the patience he's got. But yeah, I think he's pretty damn close to leaving because they're letting him go and do all these other championships, and that's probably to keep him. So maybe if they can keep the freedom at McLaren to let him do other things, they might keep him. But ultimately, if he's not going to be finishing Grand Prix, why would you hang around? So yeah, what do you guys think about Alonso? Do you think that was it? Do you think his mind is made up? And will you see him in IndyCar? Which is better, Indy or NASCAR? I don't really watch any of them, TNT, but probably IndyCar, I think. If I'm to pick one, maybe IndyCar. I'll probably go with IndyCar. Indy with 500, isn't it 500 kilometers, Keegan? Not a massive fan of Indy, but or miles, sorry. Anyway. IndyCar is going to create a McLaren Andretti team sooner than later. There's been a lot of talk for that team being conceived. Great chances he'll go to WEC. He had a lot more fun in WEC too. Yeah, everyone says Indy, but I also have a feeling he'll go to WEC. I did say that on stream. So, yeah, I feel he'll go to that championship first. But he's there this weekend for the Le Mans too. So, we know he can do it. And what about Leclerc? Leclerc had the drive of his life, scoring points for Sauber. And then we get the same thing about Leclerc because he's doing so good. Do we think Kimi is leaving in 2019? And again, Leclerc going for that Ferrari seat. I think he's up for it. And I would definitely put Leclerc in a Ferrari seat. Because if Sebastian Vettel is still hanging around, I think it sort of fits. So the driver lineup, Vettel and Leclerc, could definitely work. That's something I think might happen. Kimi Raikkonen's current performance, he had a little bit of a nothing weekend, didn't he? Kimi Raikkonen's running, he's sixth in that race. And where I've got the driver's standings as well. So I'll put them on screen. Kimi Raikkonen is currently fifth on 68 points. So there you go. He's sort of midfield, isn't he? Yeah, I'm not sure how long we'll see Kimi hang around for, unless he can sort of get some results coming in. But he's had a pretty average races so far, anyway. Keith says, IndyCar, very boring. Everybody's praying for a bad crash for excitement, which is... Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do that. I sort of feel guilty when I watch NASCAR and do that. I'm like, I shouldn't be wanting to see the crashes. But it's not like... Which, again, is why I think F1's a little bit better. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for a crash to happen in F1. I'm looking at how long they're going to last on tyres, when they're going to pit, if their pit stop was quick enough, if they're going to get the undercut or the overcut. So I totally agree with that. And yeah, sometimes I do feel a little bit guilty for wanting to see a crash. Hello, Potato. Welcome. Don't forget about Fiat, says Keegan. Well, I don't know why we talk about Fiat. He's nowhere now. Like, we don't even know. They don't even know why he had such a bad run, to be honest. I remember reading an interview where they said they don't really know what was going on. So yeah, Fiat, I'm a bit perplexed why you bring him up. That's the link to why they don't refuel. Can someone... I would read it. But can someone let me know why? In a short, what do they call it when you summary? A short summary. Derp. His time in front in F1 has expired 2 years ago. Yes, he's out, no question about it. Kimi has been choking a lot in qual. Yes. Yes, so Aiden's talking about Kimi, obviously. And yes, it's his qualifying that lets him down. I can immediately remember him in Baku. That last lap, or last corner, really, he got all the oversteer. He was pushing too hard. He was doing great in the practice sessions. He was doing all right. He got himself into Q2 pretty well. But that last qualifying run, he stuffed it up. And yeah, that really hurt him because I'm pretty sure he was sitting on top. No, he was sitting third. And then he went for his second run and then he screwed it. I forget what he did, but I remember him screwing it up and he had to abort. And yeah, he lost 2 spots out of it because he couldn't improve. So yeah, it's definitely the qualifying that hurts Kimi. And yeah, I don't know if we'll see him at the end of the year, honestly. Unless he's signed a contract that I'm not aware of. Someone might yell at me for that. But yeah, after 2019, I definitely don't see him coming anywhere past that, that's for sure. Sujit, welcome to the podcast, man, and good to have you along. You ask, do you know how long does the Hypersoft tyre last on track? I mean in laps. 25? I think about 25 laps is about the max. Again, yell at me if I'm wrong, but I'm dead certain it's 25. So, yeah, it's not a full race distance. But then, I think the Hypersoft could last the whole Monaco Grand Prix. It also depends on the track surface, the temperature, the track layout. If there's a lot of slow corners or a lot of high-speed corners as well, that all changes it. But I'm pretty sure it's 25. Pretty damn sure. Daniel, if Vettel wins championship but Ferrari doesn't score the constructor title by a big margin, they could put in Leclerc in Ferrari if he will keep performing. Well, I think he will. He's been really consistent this year. I've been really impressed because he doesn't look at the results he's had in a Sauber, and then you have a look at who's his teammate. It's Ericsson, isn't it? I always forget who Ericsson drives for. I'm so dumb sometimes. Yeah, Marcus Ericsson. Don't know why I had to look that up. But he's showing up Ericsson. And yeah, Ferrari need a driver that has F1 experience in the next coming years. Leclerc, I think, will take it straight away. And I'm pretty sure he'll keep his consistency because he's shown that he can do that. Keegan, what I think F1 must bring strategy would change 2 tyres. Change 2 tyres, not 4. Well, what's the point? There'd probably be safety concerns for that. It's not like they're racing on an oval and only using the loaded tyre on the outside. Outside's a loaded tyre when you turn. So that's why they can change 2 tyres there. And they do it so fast anyway. I don't understand how that would improve strategy. You need to do things like more mechanical grip. That's what I think they need. They need to stop relying so much on aerodynamic grip and focus the cars more on aerodynamics. They don't need this. They were talking about, homogenizing the cars so everyone has similar parts. You don't need to do that because F1 is always about research, development, the pinnacle of technology. It's where ABS was born, I'm pretty damn sure. It's where the future of, road cars, the technology we see implemented in F1 is what happens in road cars in a few years' time. So, yeah, they need to change, I think, the way they think about building the car more than changing tyre compounds or changing wings, or maybe make the cars a bit narrower because a wider car means there's less. Just spat there. It means there's less road on space on track to overtake. But yeah, I think mechanical grip over aerodynamics, and we'll start seeing better races. That's my personal opinion. Okay, what else has been said? I'm probably so far behind the chat now because I haven't been scrolling it. Just going through. What is up, Jack? Good to see you, man. Okay, hope it's good to have you here, man. I love it when people come back and say hi. It's good. And yeah, my homemade Pirelli hat's still going strong. If you can't tell, I made it out of masking tape. So if you thought it was a real hat, it's not. Potato. Sorry, before we get to potato. Bethany says, IndyCar is insane, 230 miles an hour, which is, I think, 300 and... Screw it, I'm going to do a conversion. Because I was not brought up on miles per hour. How fast is 230 miles an hour? Jesus Christ, 370. That's 370. I didn't know it was that fast. 370 kilometers an hour. Oh my God. 230 doesn't sound that great, but when you change it back to kilometers, holy hell. You're damn right. You're right, that's insane. No wonder people like IndyCar. Maybe I should give it more of a go if they're driving that quick. Sorry, I just got to reload the comments now because I changed page. Because it's pretty much a tablet. It's pretty damn slow. What else has been said? Come on, load the chat. And I'm also thinking of putting the podcast in an audio form on like a podcast. I don't know if people prefer to listen or they'd like to watch. Because some people don't like podcasts on YouTube because they have to keep the app open, which I fully understand. So I'm thinking of that. But I do like having everyone come in live and just talk about the race. Like I said, it's like talking at the dinner table. Okay, I got to find where I was talking about. Bethany was talking about IndyCar is insane, 230 miles an hour on an oval. It's just looking for someone to get killed. Yeah, especially at 370 kilometers an hour. That's way too quick. I'm surprised they haven't pulled that back. But anyway, TNT says, Max said he is annoyed by people saying he's always crashing. He was. And that's why he said at the end of qualifying, oh, I can still race, rah, 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 and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah, he was basically, he didn't want to talk about it. And he had an incident-free race in Canada, which he needed. Otherwise, he would not have lived it down. Everyone would be all over him. And there'd probably be some serious talks going on at Red Bull if he had had another accident at Canada. So, at least for him, good on him for getting a podium and showing, he can stay out of the wall. Which also, it was funny because everyone was telling Bottas, I think was it China? They were saying he wasn't aggressive enough, getting his elbows out. But when he went side by side with Verstappen through turn 2, they said he did. And then I've also heard that Verstappen did the right thing and just realized, no, I'll just back off. So maybe they're both learning to sort of go in the direction those drivers need to. Whether or not Verstappen did sort of realize, you know what, I'm just going to hang back, take third place here and try and get the overtake later, I don't know. But yeah, it was an aggressive start, but it didn't last long for Verstappen. So maybe he's learning, I don't know. Potato. I was surprised when Max said, well, I guess I can still drive. I think he was just having a go at everyone, the media, because he was clearly annoyed at everyone asking about crashing. He's probably been getting comments saying that he can't drive, so I wasn't surprised, but I can see why he did it, because he was obviously annoyed at everything going on and the attention that he was getting for his accidents, which he obviously didn't think were that bad or weren't a true reflection of his abilities. So, but yeah, it was definitely interesting to hear him say that after qualifying. That's for sure. All right. TNT Grosjean getting points is, I think, is impossible. Yep. They were looking good in Melbourne, weren't they? Huh? Haas? Sorry, you got to say Haas. But, yeah, and Grosjean struggled. Well, he didn't even qualify because he had the problem. And then he didn't do... Where did he come in the race? I'm just going to double check that one because I can't quite remember. Grosjean, 12th. Well, to be fair, he did all right because he started at the back. Maybe that's a bit harsh. We'll find out. But yeah, I think maybe Haas have struggled to keep up with the rest of the field. That's pretty evident. But to be fair, he had a pretty good race, coming up 7 spots there. So yeah, I think you're a little bit harsh there. But we'll find out. We'll definitely find out. Aiden says, Hypersofts can last for hundreds of laps, mate. Don't let the media fool you. They're just pushing too hard. Maybe I've been fooled. Hundreds of laps, you reckon? You're probably right. I don't really know how long... I always find that the tyre compounds last different amounts of laps every race. So yeah, maybe I have been fooled. Jack says, did Grosjean pushed his hypers to lap 39? If we take out safety car laps, it would have still been 32, 35 laps. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I heard 25. Well, at least I thought I heard 25. But everyone's saying I'm wrong. Which, like I said, yell at me if I am wrong. He took it to 32, 35 laps. Wish I had the tyre strategy thing. That's something I didn't look at. But yeah, okay, fair enough. They can obviously last a lot longer than what I said. Hypersofts, they shouldn't last that long then. That's a huge issue. They should not last 35 laps. That's half a Grand Prix. There's some serious... That, for me, that's wrong. Not that you're wrong, but I'm saying it's wrong to last that long. They should degrade freaking quickly. Anyway. Keegan says, for example, iRacing and my 2 front tyres at 75 to 85, but behind at 35, 45. That what I'm talking about. Oh, for the 2 tyre strategy? Yeah. But, I don't think... It's not going to make the pit stop any quicker. Because they... Think about it. The pit stops are 2.5, 3 seconds, right? And they do 4 tyres in that time. If they're just changing the back tyres, they still have to get the car up on the jack. They still have to get the guns in, get the old tyres off, and get the new tyres on each side. Why not take all 4 at the same time? They're not saving time. It's not like in NASCAR where they can race through the pit lane. They do that. I know they do that. And sometimes they only change 2 tyres to get positions. But in Formula 1, the pit stops are so damn quick. Changing 2 tyres, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage because you just could have gotten 4 new boots. Instead, you've decided to, and you've saved no time. So, I don't think that it's not viable. There's no reason. Like again, there's no advantage gained by doing that. Just realised Sauber is beating Williams in the constructors. Yes, Williams. Pretty sure Williams are at the bottom. They've had a terrible... Oh, did I get the constructors? No. I was meant to make the constructors one. But yeah, but the Williams they're crap. And like I said, they've got no grip in the corners. Even when Kubica was testing the car, he said it was hard to drive, so the car's not fun to drive. People say they've got the weakest lineup. For an independent team like Williams, money is obviously a huge issue. I don't know. I sometimes think we're a little bit harsh on Sorokin and Stroll. Because I think maybe if they had a little bit of a better car, they could be up there. But if the car is as hard as it is to drive, and Kubica is saying the same thing, I don't think they can do any better than what they're doing, honestly. Kubica might do a little bit better, but in the points, I kind of doubt it. I really do. Yeah, Williams have some serious problems, and it's all to do with aero. Keith, getting to the refueling. Thank you very much, Keith. 1, too expensive to transport for the small teams. Fair enough. 2, Massa driving off with the hose still attached and basic safety. Yep. Fair enough. Thank you. So there it is. That's why they don't refuel. And that makes a lot of sense. 1, cost. 2, safety. In this day and age, if they can mitigate a health and safety risk by just not doing it, and they can get it, they're not going to do it. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Keith. Appreciate the work. Jack says, F1 has made high-speed cornering easy using aero, but they really need to make it hard and make slow cornering easy, because high-speed cornering is where the good drivers can run away from bads. Yeah, the aerodynamics in F1 right now, like I've said, it's a huge part of the car's design. But there's some undesirable effects to that, and that is cars can't follow, cars can't overtake. Yes, they can take corners at extremely high speeds now, but I think they need to just simplify the aero a little bit. I mean, it's still F1, it still has to be technical and top line, but if you give an engineer a goal and you give him some parameters to work within, you'll be amazed at what engineers can find. So I don't think telling the teams to lose aero is such a bad idea, in my opinion, because they will work a way to find grip some other way, which hopefully would mean we get more overtakes. So yeah. TNT says, Dan Weldon's fatal crash was brutal. It was. That was very unfortunate. And it was a sad day for motorsport. You thought it was a real hat, Daniel? Wow. This is how far back in chat I am. Yeah. I did it with markers, Sharpies, and some scissors. And I just drew Pirelli freehand. I used a ruler to get the straight P. And then I just used scissors to cut out. What do you call that? That design? And yeah, I bought a $3 black hat from Kmart or somewhere, Big W in Australia. And yeah, now it's my Pirelli hat. I want to get it signed by Daniel Ricciardo one day. Or Mark Webber. I love Mark Webber. He's my favourite driver. KPH is here. Woo! Welcome, dude. Okay, what else? Potato. They said in 2020, 2022, that's hard to say, F1 is changing the aero and making the DRS more efficient and faster. See, I don't think DRS is the answer. It's the dirty air from the front wing, which is why they're changing it next year. Because it's not the air off the back. I don't know if you've seen my dirty air video. If you're not familiar with the concept, go check it out. I'm pretty proud of that video. The air that comes off the back wing goes up and over the car behind, so it's not an issue. That's good for slipstreaming. It's all the turbulent air that runs through the front wing, over the tires, through all the veins there, and then gets pushed. All this turbulent air gets pushed behind the car, and then because that air is moving, the pressure's lowered. The car that's driving into it behind loses like a crazy amount of downforce on the front and rear wings. Like, the effect that moving air has on the car behind is insane. Because obviously, like I said, F1 cars are designed to run through clean, still air. When they're not running through clean, still air, they're not working in the way they were designed. They need to be designed to work in that dirty air as well as clean. I'm sure they can find a compromise. I'm positive of it. I just don't understand why I haven't heard, a fix to... Because the error is the issue. I don't know. Maybe we'll hear more about it later on, but for me, that's where the solution is. Hey, look, KBH, obviously, hello. I meant the points. Any technical stuff I want to know? Oh. Yeah, do you know what was wrong with Mercedes' engine, why they didn't bring a new one? I heard it wasn't up to par at the dyno or something. Do you know anything about that? So that's why Mercedes didn't have a new engine this weekend. They weren't happy with it. Okay, just going through chat again. Sorry, it's skipping all around the place. This is really annoying. It's really hard. Antonio, welcome, dude. Car will still have same speed through turns because it will have more mechanical grip and bigger wings. Yeah. Mechanical grip's where they have to work on. I agree. Kubica slow, yeah. Stop driving for 3 months, get an old undrivable car, and win 5th on track. Well, Kubica, yeah, like when he drove that car, he said it was hard. And if Kubica's saying the car's hard, and Stroll and Sorokin are saying the car's hard to drive, it's clearly hard to drive. All right, I've got other topics that I've written down. I just want to make sure I've gone over all of them. So we went over... Oh, God, phone. Seriously. My phone's like 20 years old now, and it just doesn't work anymore. So we've talked about Alonso leaving F1 for Indy, maybe, but we've come to the conclusion it's probably going to be more like the World Endurance Championship. Leclerc had an amazing weekend, and I think we all seem to think he might replace Kimi, maybe in 2019. Yes? Mercedes obviously didn't bring a new engine. They had cooling issues which hampered Hamilton's race because he was having power unit drops because of it. As we know, Canada was another overtakeless race. We've talked about ways to fix that. Williams are struggling. They're struggling. Their last win was in Spain 2012 by Pasta Maldonado. Again, they've got no group when cornering, and the issue might be an aerodynamic stall at the rear diffuser. And Hamilton believes the sport is heading in the wrong direction. We talked about the engine rules, and he says it was a lot more fun when they had more engines to play with. And he doesn't want the championship to be decided on something as small as reliability. All right. If there is anything that you guys want to talk about that I have not talked about, now is the time. We will get into my thoughts on the race. It was boring. Everyone says boring. I don't know. It was disappointing because Canada usually puts on a pretty good show, and it just didn't this year, and it's showing. The issues that Formula One has with the overtaking stuff is getting almost ridiculous. And I really hope they fix it soon. I know they can't do anything this year because they're locked into things. They're doing something about it next year. I really hope it fixes it even a little bit. I really do. Canada, I don't know. Let's just... Paul Ricard's a wider circuit. I really hope we have some good action there. So I'm really keen for the French Grand Prix. Bring it on. In and out causing faults and power issues. Would you like me to talk about Ham's engine? Yes, please. Yeah, you can explain Hamilton's engine. Like I said, had heating issues. Power was causing the issues with his power unit. And they have some, like I said, some cover that they ripped off through his pit stop. Jack says, Josh, by the way, I came to Burnout stream yesterday, and as soon as I got in, you ended it. Oh, sorry, man. I was getting really tired. And yeah, I was getting really bored at that point with Burnout as well. So I was like, I'm going to take a break. But yeah, while I'm here and talking about other things, Demo One Garage on YouTube is going to be, like I said, it's mostly motorsports. A lot of F1 focus at the moment. But I want to start and do one thing at a time and sort of, get good at that. There's still going to be motorsport gaming on YouTube. Some people unsubscribe when they see that. That's totally fine. I get it. But that's what this channel is. Because I like... You can laugh at me when I say Gran Turismo is a sim, but I still like playing it as long as Project Cars. We're going to do Formula 1 2018 because the Formula 1 season doesn't last all year, unfortunately. So there's other stuff that I like to do. And it's my channel. And the reason I was gaming originally, and the reason I do everything the way I do it now is because if it's fun, I'm going to do it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that stuff as well. If not, just don't hit the notification bell. Otherwise you might get spammed with streams you don't care about. But for the F1 stuff, it's always going to be scheduled and stuff. And hopefully, yeah, you can see that. And Twitch TV/Demo and Garage. When I'm not doing anything on YouTube, I'm just going to be playing random games there because I still like gaming. So yeah, if you want to chat to me when I'm not on YouTube or I'm live on Twitch, yeah, I'm always up for a chat there as well. And Discord, you can catch me on Discord, don't forget that. And yeah, and I'm really excited to do this Le Mans stream on the weekend as well. Aiden says, I guess you can say you got burnt out playing I did get burnt out, unfortunately. It was only $17, so I'm not upset, but after an hour and a half, I was just it was showing that it was an old game, that's for sure. Jack says, how about F1 do double spec cars, like one car for quali with all aero stuff and other one with less aero to make. That'd be cool. Cost obviously is an immediate issue. I want to see them do sprint races like they do in F2 and GP3. I want to see stuff like that. And like reverse grids and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Don't know what you guys think about that. But yeah, I like your idea. But I think cost would be an immediate factor for that. KPH adds in, so the engine is made with different bits. The Merc had a fault in the intake system causing huge cooling problems. Yep. This in return made Hamilton's engine quite hot and difficult to manage. Right, so it was in the intake system. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, he had some massive overheating. Oh, and the reason Verstappen got so close to Bottas at the end, apparently Bottas was running out of fuel. Did you know that? Bottas was managing fuel by the end of that race. That's why he said Verstappen was so close. Because Verstappen, he was like, I don't know, 12 seconds off with like 18 laps to go. And by the end of the race, he was within like half a second. So apparently, yeah, Bottas was managing fuel. So he scraped through. Potato says F1 is going to make DRS more efficient in the next couple of seasons. Same with Aero. I really hope they do. I haven't read any of the white papers and stuff that they do, but that's good to hear at least. Still sad that I can't play F1. I can play F1, but I suck. I'm not going to play F1 until 2018 comes out. Daniel asks, do you see Kubica racing 2019 and for who? Yeah, repeat the question. That's all right. Sometimes I miss questions and I don't mean to. 2019. No, it's 2018 now. Possibly. If Stroll or Sorokin don't like where the team's heading, or I don't know. I don't know if we'll see next year, maybe 2020. I'd say 2020 in Williams. But I don't know how long the contracts are for the two boys that are driving now. I don't think next year. Definitely don't think next year. But if he is to drive for a team, it'll be Williams. That's my feeling anyway. KPH adds, anyway, after racing with the Hypersofts, they're able to last for 70 laps or so in F4. Jesus Christ. See, that's ridiculous. That shouldn't last that long. Now, someone had the topic to talk about the Pirelli compounds. They said it in Discord, and I was hoping they were going to bring it up, because I don't have any more information on the topic other than what you've said. Could Pirelli's choice in softer compounds be the reason why we have some boring races on usually overtaking tracks. Basically, have Pirelli knack themselves by making an issue larger than it could have been. I don't think so. Again, aerodynamics, the way the cars are designed. But I have an issue with how long those hypersofts can last. They shouldn't last that long. They need to fix it, in my opinion. And the hards are coming for Silverstone. Will anyone use them? Probably Williams. But then the mediums might be good enough anyway. I don't know. So anyway, how long did we last today? It was pretty good. Geez, we're going over an hour. It's our first over an hour stream. That's really good. I'm getting a sore throat again. This cold just won't go away. But anyway, yeah, before we end it, is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Keep writing in the comments and I'll talk until we all are exhausted of talking about Canada. Aiden says, my theory is that with softer compounds, it could influence better racing in theory, but teams will nurse the tyres into all. Yeah, they were doing that in Canada. And that's why I think the tyres should degrade so much faster. So they can go out there and do the quick laps on the tyres to get that gap. So they then go onto a different compound. Because one-stoppers can be interesting. Marginal one-stop racing can be interesting. But at the moment, they're not. So I really think the tyres need to degrade quicker. But anyway, it's a decent theory. And you finished in P4 and your F4 on Sunday. Well done, dude. Congratulations. Where'd you qualify? And how many overtakes did you get? Probably more overtakes than F1, I imagine. Jack says time for slicks to be banned. Like in 1999. You want to ban slick tyres? Ooh, I don't know if they will like that. It's a controversial opinion. I like it. Maybe they can test that. I wouldn't mind testing it. I don't have a huge... I can't remember 1999 that well. I was only 10 years old. But fair enough. It's a decent proposal there. Qualified P9 KP. Well done. Getting up to P4. That's... You did more overtakes than F1 in your race alone. You was one. Oh. Oh, now you're making me feel old. Alright. Well, guys, that was the Canadian Grand Prix podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we talked about everything you all wanted to talk about. And thank you for everyone that's popped in, said hello. Jack, Aiden, KP, Keegan, Daniel, Potato, Keith, Sujit, TNT. Who have I missed? I've missed someone. Antonio had a question. Well, thank you for that, dude. Bethany as well. Of course, Bethany. Just gonna keep going until I run out of names. I think I'm running out of names. I like to thank everyone that joins, though. Ah, the Golden Sword. Yes. Taylor Lynch as well. Sorry you had to go so early. I think that's about it. Sorry if I missed you. But yeah, thanks again, guys. And thank you very much. We've hit 2,200 subs. Insane. There was one point there where I thought I was never going to gain another sub in my life. And I kept losing subs. It's just life on YouTube sometimes. But yeah. Oh yeah. Don't forget Formula 1 Fantasy. I'm still running about 15th. I got about 130 points. So, did alright. But yeah, if you're not in that, don't forget to join up. And Bethany, you scored a decent amount. I saw your score. Because you started like a week or so late. You're doing really well for your points anyway. Oh, geez. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to say thanks, guys, for joining the podcast. This has been the Canadian Grand Prix review. Don't forget, if you want to catch me on Twitch doing other things, I'll be there. Probably tonight, actually, because I don't really want to spam people with another stream of Gran Turismo. So I don't know what I'm going to play. But anyway, my name's Josh. This has been Demo Garage, and thanks again, guys. Don't forget, we got the the Le Mans stream coming up on the weekend. Hopefully, you guys come along for that as well. It's going to be a little bit of fun. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to do like a... what's it called? Like a... Oh, I can't remember what they're called. Like not a raffle, but I've got the entry list for the Le Mans, right? And I want people to... I'm going to pick a number for everyone that wants to play. And then if your car wins your class, I might send you like some Vegemite or Tim Tams or something. If you're overseas, if you live in Australia, I'll think of something. But yeah, if you want to be a part of that, get on... make sure you're on Discord. And I'll give everyone on Discord priority. And I'll pick your numbers for you. And then whatever's left, we'll do on YouTube on the night or whatever. But yeah, if you want to win some Tim Tams and Vegemite and maybe some other stuff, and you're going to be along for the Le Mans stream, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's everything. That's it. I'm done. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I've got. Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's like a steaks or... Oh, the word just can't come out of my head. But anyway, keep an eye out on Discord. But yeah, my name's Josh. This has been Demo Garage. Don't forget, race hard and on the edge. And I'll catch everyone at Circuit Paul Ricard in France in 2 weeks. Catch you then. Now we're just got to find the picture. Ciao.